Welcome to season 4 of Politically Aweh. We have a new studio, a desk, and Zoe.
Aweh?
I know what you're thinking. It's not cultural appropriation. She's not white. I checked. Okay, comrades, now let's get to serious matters. Happy birthday to GNU. Happy birthday to GNU. Comrades, our government of national unity turned 1 in June.
You know, the GNU, the government we've had since the 2024 elections.
It's the one where the ANC is in a polygamous relationship with 9 other lovers, and at the time of taping, the DA is still Undlunkulu. But comrades, did we celebrate too soon?
Possibly more trouble for the government of national unity following President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to sack the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry.
The DA also threatened to bring a move of no confidence against President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Our economy growing by just 0.1%.
Like any 1-year-old, the GNU is messy, throws tantrums, and yes, its nappy is full of gak.
Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Mkhitariro says crime syndicates have infiltrated the criminal justice system.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has placed the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on leave of absence with immediate effect.
And while everybody's going goo-goo over Cyril's baba, no one's asking, who's been babysitting the chaos since the DA switched sides? But we'll tell you what the mainstream media won't tell you. Let's talk about the official opposition in parliament.
You know, the people meant to keep the government in check. It's not the DA anymore. It's Jacob Zuma's Umkhonto weSizwe party. Or is it?
How are they doing? Let's get away. The 2024 general election marked a historic moment. It was South Africa's 7th democratic, free and fair election, and it ran smoothly. Mostly, the new opposition party wasted no time in getting oppositional.
We cannot allow a situation where millions of votes have been stolen.
Comrades, what's an African election without someone saying it was stolen?
But 2024 mattered for other reasons too. For the first time, independent candidates could contest seats nationally and provincially after a long battle in the Constitutional Court. But more importantly, the ANC got properly clapped at the polls, ending with just over 40%. The EFF, born from a 2013 ANC split, secured 9.5%, and the MK party, founded after Jacob Zuma's removal, became the 3rd largest party with 14.5%. Together, they could have almost had a 2/3 majority and governed like old times.
But there's too much bad blood, and I don't think they can solve them.
We listen and we don't judge.
Bad blood, hey!
So with less than the 50% of votes needed to form a government, the ANC went looking for other partners. A new bombshell has entered the villa.
The day that an ANC-EFF government takes over in South Africa, it will be doomsday for our country.
Shut up, you stay nasal and listen.
There's no way someone's coming and shouting at me like that.
The DA is just gossiping about our country to foreign countries.
Despite all odds, the DA ended up agreeing to work with the ANC and 8 other smaller parties in a coalition. True Cyril style, this soon got rebranded to the Government of National Unity. But not everyone agrees.
We don't call it the GNU, it is a DA-led coalition.
Wow, these guys are really good at opposing everything.
You'd think so, hey.
So what happened to the other parties not in the GNU?
Those left out split into 2 blocks. The MK party, as the next biggest party outside the GNU, is now the official opposition in parliament with 58 seats, taking over from the DA. Alongside the EFF, ATM, the United Africans Transformation Party, and the Cape Coloured Congress, they've become known as the Progressive Caucus. The remaining parties like Action SA, Build One South Africa, and the ACDP are doing their own thing, sometimes voting with the GNU, sometimes not.
So this is supposed to be the opposition?
Yep. But according to those watching Parliament, they're failing. More than half of the MK party's MPs attended less than 75% of their portfolio committee meetings last year. And the EFF didn't do much better.
We should put them in the gig economy like the rest of us. No work, no pay.
You guys are getting paid?
So true, KG. So what happens to our democracy when the opposition doesn't show up? As someone who used to lead the official opposition in Parliament, Tony Leon should know.
I'd give the MK about a 2 out of 10 as an opposition party. It doesn't perform as an opposition party. You know, I cannot think of a single question that the MK party or its parliamentarians have asked the government, which is the key role of an opposition, that has held the ANC to account in Parliament.
To effectively oppose, MPs should actually be in Parliament, ask the tough questions and vote yes or no on government policies. Otherwise, we're basically living in a dictatorship.
820.
In April, the government tried to pass its budget, which included a VAT increase. It was probably the most important thing that's been voted on in Parliament since the last elections and was going to affect the price of basically everything we buy. But MK was not buying it.
What does it mean, though, when the MK party threatens to bring the country to a halt?
It means bringing the country to a halt. It's pretty clear. I mean, that targets poor people.
So naturally, the MK voted against the bill, or at least they tried to vote against it. But about 12 MK MPs didn't show up, and the budget passed.
Okay, I have got an idea. Instead of shutting down the whole country, how about just showing up at work, for sakes?
Disagreement in the GNU was enough to stop the VAT hike, but still, MK's failure to attend crucial votes in Parliament means they're failing the very people who voted them in.
But the problem is that when the MK does show up at work, this is what happens.
When the car strike, we have to fix it. We have to understand. Because why you here is because government, we have a hands. All right.
Listen, I know that's not his first language, but what the hell is this? Also, he could have spoken in his mother tongue. ChatGPT speaks all the languages.
Parliament aside, there's a lot of things about MK that make me go, okay. Like, does party MP Jacob Zuma's daughter, Duduzile Zuma, actually know what the government does? Here's her plan for the economy.
I'm trying to think now, quick fast. We'll probably look at things like repo rates to assist in bringing down, food prices or whatever. So things like that, the lower hanging fruits to assist to alleviate poverty,
Okay. And they are so busy suing, axing, and insulting each other, I'd be surprised if they're getting much else done.
Duduzile Zuma, the daughter of former President Jacob Zuma, has said Floyd is the worst thing to ever happen to the MK party.
Okay.
I think I see where the name really comes from now.
Let's be real. Okay, is so full of contradictions, they make a cook sister look straight. They preach anti-corruption, but they have the state capture's most wanted list as members in Parliament.
Mr. Molefe?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you feeling?
I'm cool, man.
And their leader is an impeached judge who's been in and out of court on whether or not he could sit on the committee that interviews judges.
Okay, let me get this straight. An impeached judge is trying to decide who our judges are supposed to be. That's like so bad it's its own example.
They say they're all about people power, but then don't show up in Parliament and seem to be all about one man.
The MK is winning ground, it's winning by-elections, largely in KZN. It's certainly the key challenger in rural constituencies to the ANC. So I have to say they're an interesting example of not performing particularly well as a parliamentary opposition, but who on the ground seem to be making significant progress.
So, with the official opposition party too busy opposing itself to be an effective government watchdog, where does that leave us?
That's an excellent question, because in a GNU with blurred lines of accountability, a strong opposition is more essential than ever. 1 year in, most South Africans are still not feeling much improvement in their lives.
It's maybe not surprising when you look at how it's going.
The Democratic Alliance claims that the voting process for the fiscal framework in the National Assembly was flawed and they will challenge it in court.
If the DA want to leave the GNU, it's their call. They can leave tonight, they can leave tomorrow.
We're certainly not just going to walk away from the GNU. The DA sees no further point in wasting our breath in endless talk shops with the ANC.
Yo, it looks like these two need some marriage counseling. Let's ask an expert on whether this couple will survive.
If this was a marriage, this is seriously a marriage in trouble. And of course, like with all bad marriages, it's not just the people themselves that suffer, it's also the children that suffer, and the children in this case being ourselves.
And it looks like the kids have started to notice that Mommy and Daddy are fighting. In a recent poll on the GNU, only 42% thought that the parties were cooperating effectively, while half the respondents disagreed.
We need to stop using old, outdated, harmful conflict skills from the 80s. They need to understand that conflict is okay. We need to stop avoiding it. If they turn this into a constructive energy, but better conflict, then the marriage can be saved.
Okay, so the official opposition is chaos. The governing coalition is chaos. Who's doing the work? The EFF?
Nope, not really. Their biggest contribution to our democracy from the past year was getting Elon to tweet about them.
Oh yeah, and they made global headlines when Trump plugged their #1 single in the White House. You can't buy that type of publicity, and Malema milked it for all it's worth.
And it only took Donald Trump to remind all of you that this is not a small organization.
Though still centered on Malema, the EFF is gaining credibility, but still not enough to keep a GNU in check.
Sure, collectively the MK and EFF are fumbling the bag like Skype during COVID. So what about the smaller parties?
Action SA, BOSA, and the ACDP are showing up, asking the tough questions and jumping into debates. Some are even chairing committees like Proud Prefix, and they're at least trying to hold the GNU to account.
Because all the indications are we have a government that has failed South Africa despite all the hype.
There has been no sort of definition of a new government as such, except just a continuation of ANC. There's been no accountability at all.
She has a point. For example, when the GNU came to power, Uncle Cyril promised us signed ministerial performance agreements to show us how exactly ministers will deliver. But more than a year later,
Delolo. But the problem with small parties is that they're small.
So you're saying size matters after all?
In Parliament, it does, Judge Mbenenge. Mmusi Maimane's Build One South Africa party only has 2 seats in Parliament, but here's what he told us is still possible.
Size matters differently in Parliament. But in terms of work, ideas and input, they are not suddenly amplified because you've got many people. There are many MPs who are in Parliament today, never said a word. So I think in this instance, let the strength of your ideas be what carries you, rather than the sheer number.
That sounds good, Mmusi, but I hate to break it to you. The real opposition party in South Africa is probably still the DA.
The Schrodinger's cat of South African politics.
Both the government and the opposition.
That man is the imposter.
The fact that we are in government does not say that we can let things go unanswered.
We're here today for the simple reason that President Ramaphosa refuses to be as good as his word and act against corruption.
Love them or hate them, the DA is probably the only truly effective check on executive power we've ever had in South Africa.
No. White people are going to love you for that, Zoe.
The DA had to make a choice. Was it going to stay on the opposition benches, or was it going to take a leap of faith and go in and help govern the country? And the calculation was, with a lot of support, go in and try and make a difference. Now, of course, that's the theory. The practice, as you know, is a lot more complicated.
Comrades, after 1 year of GNU chaos, opposition politics is a hot mess. And while the DA might still be trying their best to hold the ANC to account, We can't forget that they are now in power and many compromises will have to be made.
Exactly. And a strong opposition outside the GNU is needed to ensure the DA are held to account as well. Remember the Phala Phala scandal involving $500,000 in cash found in President Ramaphosa's couch?
I've written to the FBI to request that they investigate allegations of possible money laundering by the president.
Ever since entering the GNU, the DA has gone mysteriously quiet about it.
I hope the whole country understand the hypocrisy of the DA. They have chosen to go against their own convictions to protect President Ramaphosa. I think it's shameful. What else is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about? That's a question we should be asking ourselves.
Oh, look at that. The MK is making some sense for once. So what can we do about this? If we don't want another state capture on our hands, we need to pay very close attention to the GNU.
The media, civil society, and institutions must step up. Parliament should implement the recommendations of the Zondo Commission to strengthen accountability, and ordinary citizens should speak up and take to the streets when the government fails us. Like these guys.
We fully back General Mokgadi. We believe that we need to get rid of this corruption. We believe that in this country we don't actually have a racism problem, we've got a corruption problem.
Well done for being on the streets, comrade, but you ruined it by saying that we don't have a racism problem. And if you ever start to feel a bit overwhelmed by all of this, don't lose your cool. Like this.
And shut up, you stay lazy and listen.
Just be like Brian.
I'm cool, man.
That's all we have time for, comrades. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay away.
Mmusi. Damn it.
But in practice, they've barely moved the teleprompter. Miranzile kuvolavola na wena mashaka mina miranzile nkofu man.
KG, we working here?
I'm talking to my cousin.